Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kelvtalk podcast. My name is Kelvin, and today I am with Alex Hayes. Alex has never been on this podcast before, mind you. So welcome, Alex.
This is episode 1, yeah?
This is episode 1 of Kelvin Trans podcast, actually. So welcome, Alex. How are you today?
Mate, I'm good. I'm a little bit nervous. I feel like
Yeah, you've never done this
I feel like it's a
before, hey?
job interview or something.
It is a job interview, actually.
It feels a little bit different from this seat. I feel a bit disoriented.
Really?
I can see Chris, which I don't like.
You actually have a really good shot of Chris from that seat.
And yeah, let's see how we go.
Yeah, cool. Well, today we thought we'd switch seats so that we get to know more about Alex. Obviously, Alex is the host of this podcast, which he is no longer. He's been fired.
I've been canned.
But yeah, I'm personally curious about Alex's story about how he got to where he is today as a coach, as a lifter. Alex recently competed as well. You said it was your 23rd comp, right?
23rd.
How was that?
Comp was good. Yeah, like you said, 23rd comp. So I think they're all different in a way. And this was probably the first one I went into almost like very happy to just do equal to the best that I'd done before.
Nice.
Or like maybe a little bit better if I had a good day.
Was it because your prep wasn't as great as you hoped it would be, or was it just like whatever?
Actually, like prep was actually pretty good. Just the last couple of years of training has just been a bit up and down with injury in my shoulder, with like lifestyle with the kids, and just like training not being number one priority. I think it was also me kind of coming to terms with the fact that like this was actually the level that I was at, and I wasn't kind of over sort of thinking where I was, which I think, you know, is a good thing to do when you go into a comp, is actually be realistic.
Yeah, fair.
So I think like I actually was a bit more realistic about what the comp plan was. The day itself was really fun. Like I had a really fun time because I feel like I had come to terms with where I was at. I wasn't like putting pressure on myself to be
Have to hit
better
a certain number or whatever.
to be better than I'd been in the past or be as good. And I actually just had a really fun time.
Yeah, that's
As far as performance goes, I hit equal squat PB, 262.5. I benched 152.5 and missed 157.5 for the second comp in a row. And I missed 292.5 deadlift by like a whisker.
Yeah,
very,
that
very close.
last deadlift was.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I was in the back room. I wasn't watching you. You went on, and then they was screaming for like 10 seconds. I had 10 seconds of time to walk to the platform and have a look at like what was going on, and you were still just there holding onto your deadlift. And I was like, oh, it's Alex grinding out a deadlift.
Yeah, I think it was a very humid and hot day. And that meant that a lot of people were dropping deadlifts because they were getting like clammy hands or there was just a lot of humidity in the air.
You held on though,
And I was the only one, I'm pretty sure, in the final attempt who missed, but didn't miss on grip.
Yeah, not on grip.
Which I don't even know if that's a flex or not. It's probably not.
You just weren't strong enough, bro.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You were just too weak.
But the comp itself was actually really fun. The prep was actually really good as well. I just had sort of come to terms like sort of towards the end of the day, like I need to actually take time to get better.
I mean, you competed at First Nations, which was what, 4 months ago, right?
Yeah, in
Which is
July.
not long.
Yeah. And like I definitely had a better time than that one. I think I put a lot of pressure on myself that one. So this one was a lot more like free, and I was kind of just in the flow rather than at the other one I was quite anxious.
Why did you decide to compete again?
Because I wasn't happy with the last comp.
And did you equal your total from last comp?
I beat the last comp's total.
Oh, okay. By how much?
By 5.
Are you happy with
I'm not happy with I'm not happy with the like the outcome.
Yeah.
But I'm happy with like so my best total going into the weekend is 710.
Yep.
I did 695 on the weekend with a 12.5 kilo jump miss on deadlift and a 5 kilo jump miss on bench. So if you add those two up, it's a small total PR.
If I'd gotten it,
obviously we don't count the ones that we don't make, but I think like the lesson there is like I was roughly as strong as my best performance, like give or take a couple of kilos.
Yeah.
And I think like I've come to terms with where I'm at and how the last sort of 2 years of training has gone, like I said. And I'm okay with where I'm at, but I'm not ready to do another competition right away. Like I was sort of on the fence about whether I would do nationals.
So I'm assuming no nationals.
So it's a no.
Yeah.
And that is purely because I need more time to build and get better and actually come back and attempt stuff that's sort of out of the same range of the lifts that I've been attempting in the last few comps.
That's how I feel completely about nationals as well. Like I feel like if I just competed at nationals again, I would be doing the same, like very similar openers, very similar attempts, and it's like what yeah, great, I get to do another nationals, but what's the point if I'm not going to have a difference in my results
Yeah.
and outcomes? So
Yeah, and I actually did a Q&A day before comp. Someone asked me, why are you competing if you're already qualified for nationals? Because I did hit the QT at First Nations.
yeah,
And the answer is like pretty simple. It's like, well, we don't just compete to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
Like there's plenty more reasons why we compete. If we think back to like when we got into training, I didn't start training the lifts because I wanted to do powerlifting. I didn't even know powerlifting existed. I wanted to get stronger. I liked how it felt. I liked the objective nature of getting stronger. I liked getting more muscular, looking better, all those kind of things. Pretty much the same reason that why everyone starts.
yeah,
And that's still true to this day. Competition just happens to also be there as well.
yep,
But that doesn't mean that I need to always chase the next competition. In fact, like I think actually taking time and remembering why I got started in the first place and what I enjoy about training and what I enjoy about the process will actually make me better for my next competition without actually thinking about the next competition.
yeah. Well, that's a great segue to our next, or to my first question actually, which is about what was your first few years or first year of lifting? Why did you get into the gym? How did you start? Because you've been in the game for a while. Obviously 23 competitions, which means you've been in the game for a long time. But yeah, how did that process start? How did that journey start? And yeah, we'll go from there.
So it started long before actual powerlifting. Like my
As in
first,
the sport of powerlifting, or when you were
so,
introduced to powerlifting?
so my first powerlifting comp was almost 10 years ago. It was December 2014. So like, yeah,
10 years ago.
basically
in 2
10,
weeks, yeah.
basically 10 years ago.
I was 14 years old.
Yep. I was 22.
There you go.
And before that, I had known about powerlifting and sort of trained for powerlifting, like sort of adjacent
What was
to
the
powerlifting.
powerlifting scene like at that time?
Oh, I mean, it was like very small community.
Yeah.
I didn't really know how to get involved, which is probably what delayed me starting.
Right.
But also, like, it was equipped back then in 2012.
Oh,
Like the first raw IPF Worlds, I believe, was 2013.
Yep.
Might have been 2014. And yeah, so before that, it was equipped. I actually trained in a powerlifting gym around 2011, not knowing it was a powerlifting gym.
Oh, really?
And on a
So when you say powerlifting gym, like combo racks,
yeah, so they used to
Power
they used to hold
bars.
competitions there.
right?
They had like a set of Alico plates and a rack that was chained up, so you couldn't train on it.
Oh, really?
They was just saved for competition because there was just like a whole bunch of kids there who trained. Like there was a whole bunch of kids around my age. I was like 19 who trained, didn't know what they were doing, didn't treat the equipment well. So it was a good thing that the stuff was chained up.
Yep.
But yeah, I remember going and training on a random Saturday, and there was a comp on, and there was like a hall adjacent to the sort of like free weights area, and I could hear a bunch of noise in there. I didn't know that the competition was on. I could hear a bunch of noise, and I like sort of peek out into the crowd, and there's this guy in knee wraps and a squat suit.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what knee wraps or a squat suit were back then. I was like, what the fuck's this guy doing?
Were you using any equipment at that time?
No, not even sleeves or a belt at that time.
Yeah,
At
right.
that point, and he's waddling up to the squat bar, like big super heavyweight guy, blood pressure through the roof, like red as anything. And I'm like, what is this sport? Like, this is fucking
Lame.
This is weird. I would never do this. And then yeah, obviously here we are. So that was kind of like my introduction to powerlifting without really knowing that it was an introduction to powerlifting.
Yeah, right.
But my first time, or my first reason for actually getting in the gym was for rugby.
Right.
So when I was in year 10, I was playing like 16As rugby, and I was doing pretty well. And the first coach came to watch, and he's like, I want you to back up for the first in like
nice.
a trial game. So it was like the third trial game of the year before the first round.
yeah.
And I was like so nervous.
So you're a reserve player.
I was playing in 16As,
Yeah.
and the coach came and said, I want you to come on the bench for the firsts
Oh shit.
that weekend. I literally got like a couple hours notice.
Yeah. Right.
I was like, all right, cool. So played my first game of firsts, like did well, ended up earning the starting spot
Oh man.
the next week, and played the whole year.
Whoa.
So
Very
I
fast.
ended up starting the whole year.
Were you really good, or were they really shit?
No, like I was good, but I was good, but I was never as interested in rugby as I was in basketball.
Oh,
so like
right.
rugby was just a thing that I did in the winter because my friends did it. Like
I see.
I was a good athlete,
Yeah.
but I was obsessed with basketball, and like I still am. But like I was talented enough to be in the first. I just
Yeah.
wasn't really interested until
Yeah.
I was kind of like dragged into it, and I was like, oh, this is actually sick. Like I'll do this. So about halfway through that season, during the school holidays between term 2 and 3, the coaches brought us all in because there was quite a few kids in year 10 who were in the first. There was like 4 or 5 of us, and we were small. Like, you know, you're playing first 15 rugby at a private school in Sydney.
Yeah.
There's like big dudes out there.
Yeah, right.
And like I was probably 65 kilos.
So you're a scrawny kid.
I was just like a small kid.
Yeah, right.
Like just a kind of like just a normal kid. And yeah, it was like a big sort of job for the coach and the strength coach and stuff to get us up to scratch,
Right.
to actually be physical enough to compete. Because we were young, like our team was really young. And then the following year, it was like we actually had an off-season weights program, off-season, like a full pre-season coming into the season. And then by the time we got into year 12, we were like, you know, 2 years of weight training. We're in there and we're actually like dominating teams physically.
Oh, that's mad.
And that was sort of like my introduction to weights.
I see.
Was sort of front squats, cleans, push presses.
So like S&C stuff.
S&C stuff. Like, and the coach we had was fucking awesome.
Yeah, right.
Like to this day, without him, I don't think I would be where I am because
So he added a really good foundation for you.
he just made things so fun.
Yeah, right.
And he, looking back at it, he did things really well. Like it was probably a little bit old school in terms of like the periodization of it all. Like it was like, okay, we're doing a couple phases where we focus on getting more jacked. Like literally on the page, it says hypertrophy.
Yeah,
and then
right.
the 2 blocks after that, it's power or it's strength or whatever.
Right.
And the phases clearly changed throughout the year. Then, you know, during the season, we did a little bit less lifting, a little bit more recovery stuff after the weekend. And like looking back at it all, it was actually all very well planned. We had like a sheet that we were given where we would fill in our weights each week. It had like boxes for each week.
Wow.
So
you had like
boxes.
macros planned for you and stuff like that. And
We had like the program on a sheet that was kept at the gym. You turn up to your session in the morning, you get your sheet, you're writing your
shit.
weights. It's got your weights from the previous week.
That's sick.
And it was like, yeah, it was, for me, it made a lot of sense. Like I'm someone who likes numbers, someone who's like thinks quite logically. You know, logic is kind of what drives my decision making. It makes sense to me to think objectively.
Yep.
And seeing weights go up each week made sense to me. It's like, okay, we're pushing, we're trying to progress. And that was kind of the introduction for me for training, was about improvement in the gym and then what that could do on the field.
Right.
And it was so noticeable particularly going from year 10 to year 11, where like if I got tackled in year 10, like I'm getting dragged back a couple meters, or like if I stay upright in a tackle, like I'm getting pulled back by the defense because I was just small and weak compared to the, you know, older guys, bigger guys. And then going into year 11, it's like I'm going into a tackle and I'm driving a guy forward, and it's like, wow, I've never felt this.
Right.
And I was
Did you
like,
gain a lot of weight?
like not really. Like it was mostly like the weight gain came from just going through puberty and adolescence and like actually just growing.
Yep.
But yeah, like that sort of result from lifting and then getting a performance outcome in sport was like my first introduction to lifting. And I'll shout out Dennis Yates.
Dennis Yates, the GOAT.
Dennis Yates is actually the fucking man.
Is he still coaching?
I actually reached out to him a couple of weeks ago to try
sick.
and get him on the podcast.
Oh,
so
sick.
hopefully we can get him on. He's probably 75 now.
Holy shit.
He was about
That'd be mad.
he was about 65 when I was in school. What year is it? 2024. So he'd be like almost 80 now.
Yeah, right.
So I doubt he'll come on, but he was the man, and he was a really positive influence on me and on my love for training in particular.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so basically from there, after high school, I'm assuming you just kept up with the gym, and that's how things sort of developed. Like you went to that powerlifting gym.
So I played first basketball for 4 years, first rugby for 3 years. Then when I finished school, I continued playing both.
Yep.
But out of school. So I was playing Colts for Mossman in rugby, and I was playing youth league for Norths for basketball. And I got a lot of concussions
Oh shit!
playing
Really?
footy and a couple playing basketball.
Right.
To the point where I had to quit footy.
Right.
So I quit when I was 21.
Yeah.
Stopped playing footy. I had 9 concussions.
Do you feel like
Which-
that's impacted you to this day? Like you've
No, I don't think
any
so.
long-term impacts of
No,
those
I
concussions?
don't think so, which is good. I think I stopped early enough.
Okay.
But I think like it's pretty dangerous. It would have been pretty dangerous for me to continue.
Yeah.
So after I stopped playing footy, like the gym was kind of on and off after I left school because we weren't forced to do it through club sport.
Yep.
You just have your team trainings and then you have your games on the weekends. And I was playing a lot of social basketball as well. So I didn't really have like a lot of energy in the tank to go to the gym like frequently. I liked the gym and I liked the feeling of getting like bigger and looking better and stuff like that. But it was never the focus until I actually started working at a gym.
Yep.
So 2012, I think, I got a job at Fitness First.
Yep.
On reception. And one of my best friends to this day, Will Berkman, was working there. And he was who I started the previous podcast with, Weekly Weights.
Yeah.
So Will was just getting into powerlifting at that point.
Right.
And that was kind of my in to actually take it seriously. So like I obviously lifted, I've done deadlifts and I hated squats. I'd done deadlifts and bench like through rugby.
Yep.
We didn't do a lot of back squatting in rugby. We did mostly front squatting and like lunges and stuff like that. And you know, when I saw Will and I saw him training and I saw what he was doing, that kind of like got me more interested in competing. And around that same time was kind of when I got really obsessed with YouTube fitness. And this is like well before your time.
Yeah.
But the prominent people on YouTube fitness who did content around powerlifting were like 3DMJ, Bryce Lewis, and do you remember Matt Ogus?
No.
I think he's still around. They were like
OG YouTubers.
They were like OGs. And like 3DMJ, like you know who Eric Helms is?
Yep.
Yeah, so like that was like OG.
Yeah. Bro, he's written like textbooks and stuff.
Yeah. He's the man. So that was kind of like my introduction to it online and my introduction to like the programming side of it and my introduction to also my first coach. Who was worked with Bryce Lewis. His name was Hanny Jazzarelli from The Strength Athlete. Have you heard of The Strength Athlete?
No.
So they're like one of the prominent...
Are they still around?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're like one of the prominent coaching companies in America. So yeah, it's Bryce, it's Eric, and it's Hanny. They had a couple of others on with them as well back then. So yeah, 2014 in July was when I signed up for coaching.
Yeah, right.
With Hanny.
How did that work with him? What sort of coaching? Like, was it online? Was it like what? How did it work?
So it was fully online.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was in America.
In the US.
And he would send me a sheet through Dropbox.
Okay, so not email.
It was all emailed, but like it would be a Dropbox link.
I see.
And all your files would be kept in Dropbox. I had to edit my videos into a YouTube weekly summary.
No way.
So it would be like, you know, me speaking over the top of my training.
Whoa.
And that was
really?
that was my weekly summary.
Is that how he wanted all his athletes to do that?
Yeah. And then I did that for like maybe a month. And then I was like, this is so much effort.
That's a lot of effort.
Outside of like, at the time I was at uni and like I was doing heaps of shit. And it was hard to like put aside that much time every week to do it.
To edit a fucking YouTube video.
And then, and like it wasn't like well edited or anything. It was just like throwing some stuff together. But it was like, if I didn't have time, it didn't just happen. So I ended up just sending him probably less videos than I should have because it was a bit of an effort. But yeah, I worked with Hanny for a couple of years. When I look back on like what that was like, it was actually like such a good introduction to training because it was like, hey, here's this concept of RPE back in 2014.
Oh, so he was using RPE already?
Yeah, it was all RPE back in 2014.
Right. Wow.
And then I followed a couple of programs that were like percentage-based linear progression. I followed like a DUP model. I followed like all kinds of different stuff
that he
back
coached
then
you through?
that he coached me through.
Right.
And yeah, it was the coaching itself was great. The sort of execution on my part was not that good because I was very driven by short-term competition. And at the time, I was still a junior.
Yep.
And I was like within striking distance of the 74 class. I made the decision to cut the 74 because I would be more competitive. I'd be more competitive at nationals. I'd be able to maybe go to international. And I did end up going to international. I did end up being more competitive at nationals as well.
Yep.
But I think it did hold me back. And I think I'd probably be further ahead than where I am now had I just committed to 83s.
Really?
Back then.
Yeah, right.
Because I kind of kind of held myself back initially. I made good progress at first, and then it stalled like quite a lot until I decided to go up again.
So how long were you sitting at 74 for?
So first comp was December 2014, and then my last comp at 74 was March of 2026. So it was like a year and a half.
Wait,
sorry, 2016.
Oh, okay.
2016.
2026. What the
Sorry,
fuck?
that's
in the future, bro.
No, so it was like a year. It's like only a year and a half, but you know, that first comp was roughly 6 months after I started coaching. So a lot of that period was doing the first diet to get down, and then sort of from that in that 16-month period, it was like sort of hovering between 76 and 78.
Yeah, right. So how was the cut for each of your comps into 74?
So the first one was like ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think I was.
Did you know what you were doing, or you were just like,
So like he
trying shit out?
He coached me through the diet.
okay.
He coached me through the like the low fiber sort of gut cut
kind of thing.
protocol. I did
Yep.
gut cut. I did sodium manipulation. I did water cut. I did like pretty much
Fucking
everything
everything.
because I had to, because I was like
4
too,
kilos
too
over.
far over.
Yeah, right.
So like I was 82 when I started coaching, and then I said to him like, oh, like not that happy with how I look, like bit of a diet, clean things up a little bit, and then we can have some room to build up. And he was like, yeah, good idea. And I got to 78, and I was like, let's just keep going down. He was like, don't, and I'm like, but I want to, and he was like, all right, fine.
That's pretty much 10 kilos cut from 82 down to
Yeah, it was
under 74.
It was basically 6.5, and then like 1.5 acute cut.
Yeah, right.
But my scales were like way off.
Oh,
So this was so brutal for a first comp. So I was 74.5 when I woke up the morning of comp, and I woke up nice and early because Hanny had said, "Oh, if you're over, we can still get you to weight through spitting."
yep.
And I was like, "Cool." So I wake up nice and early. I'm like 74.5. I'm like, oh well, at least I'm pretty close. Chewed spit for like maybe 30 minutes, and I was 74.0. And I was like, sweet, like let's go. Leave for the comp. It's like a 20-minute drive. I was like, sweet, I'm chilling. I get there maybe 10 minutes before weigh-in starts. I'm like, all right, let's just check on the comp scales before the official weigh-in starts. 74.6.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, fuck, I've already spat half a kilo. I'm going to have to keep going. So chew spit, wait for my name to be called. I'm like, here we go. Am I going to be close? I was a little bit over. I think I was 74.1. And then went back to the bathroom, chew spit, go back in, make it 74.0, butt naked.
Bro, that was your first comp experience.
First comp. And then the second cut to 74 was like a lot easier. And I think it's because I wasn't dieting and I wasn't like depleted. So I had more to cut from in terms of gut weight, glycogen, water, everything.
Yeah.
There was like more there because I was eating more and I was like feeling myself better. And I did the whole prep about 76.
Okay.
So like I kind of did this whole prep into my next meet around about 76, and it was like really easy, and I got to like 73.5, like easy with the same protocol that we did before. So I actually lost a lot more from the acute cut than I did the first time, and I think, like I said, I think that's because I had more
More to
sort
lose.
of there to lose.
Yep.
And I put like 65 on my total
nice.
in like 5 months.
Oh, man.
And most of that, well, like maybe not most of it. A lot of it was because I switched from high bar to low bar. So I squatted high bar my first comp.
Yep.
Squatted low bar my second comp. Squat went up heaps.
What were your numbers in your first comp?
I squatted 177. I missed 190. I benched 120.
Yep.
I deadlifted 210 and I missed 227.
All right. That's pretty solid.
So
So
and
five
then
something.
it was 507.
Yeah, right.
And then my second comp was 570.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and that was only 5 months later.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, that was like, then when I did that second one, it was like, oh, cool. Like, I think I might actually be pretty good. And then that kind of, it was like things almost aligned too well to the point where it like lulled me into a bit of a false sense of like how far I could get. And then the next two comps were like within 5 kilos of that total.
Oh, right.
Before I did 580 at the last one. And then I was like, nah, I'm not getting enough better for the stage that I'm at. Then I went up and it was like straight to 650 within 2 years.
When we'll talk about how you got into coaching, but I wanted to ask you about the international comps that you've been to. Was that soon after you started, or was that I can't remember the year that you guys went? It was you, Matty B, and Potts went together, right?
So that was 2017.
Yep.
That was my second international.
Oh, right. Okay.
my first international was my last year as a junior, which was 2015, which was my fourth comp.
Yep.
So I did.
Is that 74 or 83?
That was 74.
Okay.
So I did local comp, nationals, international. That was my first 4.
So you won nationals that year?
No, I actually came 4th.
Oh, right.
But there was a Commonwealths on at the same time as Oceanias.
Okay.
But the first 3 nominated guys didn't want to go.
Okay.
And it was a little bit different to how it is now, where like it's a bit more of a big deal now to go to international. So when you do win nationals, most people win nationals with the intention of going on. Back then it was you win nationals and it's like, oh cool, I'm national champion. And like only sometimes people wanted to go on.
Why do you think there was that discrepancy between back then and now? Less people
I
back
think
then?
powerlifting's just bigger.
Yeah.
And
there
I
was
think
less competition back then?
Well, yeah, there was less competition back then, like for sure. I think powerlifting's bigger now, and like the exposure that you get on the world stage makes it more enticing to go. And like the sort of acknowledgement that you get when you go is like, it's a big deal now to go to international meet. And
do you think social media is sort of...
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like the social media aspect, the streaming aspect, like you get your uniform, you get sponsorship now. Like we got a uniform back then, but we were paying for it.
Yeah, right.
So I think it wasn't as glamorous as it is now.
Yep.
Like
And the cost to go would have been like a lot as well.
Yeah, it was a lot. I mean, I don't think it would be any less than it is now. Like cost of living is worse now.
That's true. It certainly is worse now.
Like I think like the first international I went to 2015, like we didn't even have a live stream.
Oh, right.
Where
was it?
It was in Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was actually awesome.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was actually awesome. Yeah, so first one was 2015 and then the next one was 2017.
Yep. And that was the one with you, Potts, and...
That was the one with Potts and Matt, yeah.
I remember
and
that.
I was in the 83s by
I've
then.
seen that photo before of you 3.
Yep.
It's such a good photo. I think it's like...
Boy band photo.
Yeah. You're holding onto Potsy's headphones or something.
No, I'm lifting. I'm
Oh,
in the
you're
middle,
lifting.
and they're both standing next to me,
Yeah. So
coaching me.
were you guys coaching each other?
Yeah.
At that time?
So-
Like handling each other?
So Potsy was in the junior 74.
Yep.
I handled him,
Yep.
and then Matt was the next day.
Mm-hmm. And what weight class was he? 93?
Matt was 93 junior,
And you were 83?
and I was 83 open.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. I actually competed against Callan Gibbons. He's in the 83 open.
Did you?
Yeah, he beat me, the bastard.
And is he still
And he's
beating you?
Still beating. He's beating me by way more than he was back then. Now. Yeah. So I coach both Matt and Potsy.
Yep.
And they both coach me.
Right.
And then actually, as soon as that comp finished, I actually started coaching Potsy like properly. Like actually.
You
coaching
coached Potts?
Yeah, I coached Potts for like 3 years.
No way.
Yeah.
How was that?
Great.
Was it fun?
Yeah.
Good time?
Great.
That's sick.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was the internationals that I've
Right.
done. Yeah. So yeah, in general, like the way the sport's grown, particularly since 2015, is crazy.
Definitely. You've been through it. Like you've seen it grow from what
Yeah.
it was to what it is now.
Yeah. So those 2 international meets were actually with PA.
Yeah.
Before APU.
Yep.
So it was like the Singapore one was actually the final comp that PA was in the IPF. And this is actually a funny story. We found out that PA and Wilkes and Oceania was getting kicked out of the IPF maybe like 6 weeks out from comp.
Out of the international comp that you went to.
Out from the Oceanias that
Oh,
we were all at. And then we were all like, hang on a second, like we're supposed to do this comp. Like how are we supposed to do this comp if we're all kicked out? And it was a bit of a freak out. A bit of a freak out moment. And it then was decided that he would be removed at midnight of the final day of the competition.
Oh, damn.
So I actually lifted on the final day of the competition.
You
Sunday.
were the last PA lifter.
I was I wasn't the last one, but I was on the last day.
Yeah, right.
And then that midnight, Wilkes gone. So it was like, yeah, it was pretty.
Wow.
It was pretty intense. Yeah.
Wow. And obviously was Wilkes at that comp as well?
Yeah, of course. He had a whole bunch of his lifters that he coached
Was
who
it
were
like
competing.
awkward?
It actually was a bit awkward.
Yeah.
Not because like anyone there had any animosity towards us.
Yeah.
But I think it was just like this gloom and doom.
It was kind of just like...
Yeah, it was like this is a bit of a sort of strange situation,
Yeah,
which
right.
it felt a bit strange being there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of coaching, I know that you mentioned that you had coached Potts for a period of time. Backtracking a little, when did you start coaching? And like I know that you mentioned you started at a gym as a receptionist. Did that naturally progress just to become a PT, or what sort of happened from there?
So I was already Cert 3, Cert 4 qualified when I got the job at Fitness First.
Was that through uni or was it?
No, I did at TAFE.
Okay.
So I did my Cert 3 and 4 at TAFE 2012.
Did you go to uni?
I did, yeah.
What did you study?
So I finished school in 2010.
Yeah.
2011, I did commerce at Macquarie Uni. Did a year and a half of that. And then my mum pulled me aside one day and was like, what are you doing?
Really?
Like, you clearly don't like this.
Yeah.
You spend all your free time researching training
Right.
and helping your friends with training and like training yourself and
Yeah.
like researching about nutrition and all this stuff. Why don't you just do that?
Yeah, right.
And at the time, my thought was like, only dumb people do PT and I'm not dumb.
Oh, really?
And it was like, I was quite hesitant to get into it.
But your
because
mum was like,
my mum,
you're not built.
my parents don't care what I do. They want
Yeah.
me to be happy
Yeah.
and they know that if I'm happy, I'll be successful.
Yeah, that's great. That's really
And my
good.
parents are like, my dad's, a finance guy and my
Yep.
mum's a psychologist. So like they're, well read and like well educated and like, but they don't want me to necessarily follow in their footsteps of doing like a quote unquote traditional career.
Yeah.
They want me to do something that I enjoy.
Yep.
And it took me a little bit of convincing to like realize that this was a good path forward for me.
You know what's fun? Usually it's the other way around. Usually it's the kid convincing the parents like, no, like,
Yeah.
uni's not for me.
Yeah.
It's great that your parents were like, hang on.
Yeah. But
You're a bit dumb. So
no, it
still
wasn't that,
PT.
wasn't that at all. It's like, I did well in school.
Yeah.
I just didn't like it. Like once I found sport, school was like immediately bottom of the priority
Yeah.
list. It's like I did well in school until it was like, hey, I'm playing first sport.
Yep.
Like, fuck that study shit off. Like, I'm gonna be good at this
Yeah.
because it's way more fun. And when I look back on it, it's quite funny because back in that time, like even when I was still in school, I had a friend of mine who was not a good athlete
Okay.
and was really academic.
Right.
And he like traded tutoring hours for me for chemistry with me helping him in the gym.
Oh shit, that's it.
Like, so he was essentially my first client.
Yeah, right.
I basically took him to the gym, taught him how to like do squats.
Oh, like face to face sessions.
Yeah,
It wasn't
like,
just programming.
Took him down to the school gym.
Yeah, nice.
And like this is when I'm 17. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, this is what I've learned from my strength coach at rugby. Like,
Yep.
I'm just gonna teach you a few things so you can go and like, figure it out on your own. And he's like teaching me chemistry. And I'm teaching him how to lift. And when I think back on that, it's like, yeah, I actually was supposed to do this,
Yeah,
but
right.
I just didn't realize it.
Yep.
So I always say to people like, I don't have any formal education in training outside of my Cert 3 and 4. Like I have a YouTube degree, which means like all
YouTube
the
University.
all the shit that I've learned is from like people like Eric Helms and Lane
Yeah.
Norton and Lyle McDonald.
And also your personal experiences too. with
yeah,
other
of,
coaches,
of
yeah.
course. But all this learning of the YouTube stuff happened before I even did any any face-to-face training with
Yeah,
anyone.
right.
What was your question? How did I start
How'd you
coaching?
start coaching?
So yeah, like I said, did my Cert 3 and 4. Didn't want to coach at a like commercial gym. I just wanted to work in a gym and like see what I wanted to do. Like I
Yeah,
didn't
right.
necessarily want a PT.
I see.
And the PT manager probably bugged me for like 9 months.
And that was at Fitness First?
This is at Fitness First.
Yep.
The PT manager probably bugged me for like 9 months, like every month, like, hey Alex, you should come over and do PT.
Why did he have that feeling that you should do it?
She.
Oh, sorry, she.
Come on, buddy.
Sorry,
It's 2024, Kelvin.
I thought you said he. I actually thought you said he.
Women can do jobs too.
don't. Cut the cameras.
Come on,
cameras. This is over.
Come on, buddy.
So bad.
Well, she saw me on the gym floor training. Like she would see me talking to members about training, and like I was clearly like really interested
what you
in
were
it,
doing.
and I clearly had a good aptitude for it.
Yeah, right.
I just wasn't ready to commit because it's like quite a big financial commitment when you go there. You have to pay like a big big bond. You have to pay like the franchise fee at the start, then you have to pay the ongoing rent. So it's
Yep.
like,
How much was rent at that time?
I can't actually remember. I think it was like around 700 a week.
Holy shit.
No,
That's a lot.
700 a fortnight.
Okay,
That makes more sense. That makes more sense. Yeah, like that is
Yeah,
a lot.
700 a week.
Yeah, it's around. I think around 700 a fortnight. And it was just like I wasn't sure if that's what I actually wanted to do yet.
Yeah.
And then I eventually got convinced to do it. And my initial PT business was like mostly just like people in the area who had money because that's who pays for PT, right? And it was a little bit like,
So Gen Pop.
definitely, yeah, super Gen Pop. And like, I actually had sit downs with the PTM, not the initial PTM, but the second PTM after the first one, who was awesome. Second one, not as awesome. Also a woman.
Okay.
Just so you know, Kelvin. Also a woman. They can do jobs.
Women can do jobs, guys.
She actually pulled me into office a few times and was like, you need to do more of the training methods that we try and push here at Fitness First. And at the time, it was like TRX and fucking Vipers and like stupid bullshit. And I said to her, like, I'm not willing to do that. Like, that's not
Why did she
successful
want
training.
you to do that?
Because
I was on brand.
the real reason is because she doesn't understand training and she just buys into all the bullshit hype that Fitness First better. And they're just trying to like excite people with new things, right?
Yeah, of course.
And that makes
sense.
sense. Like,
They're
that's
trying to keep their members.
That's
pretty much
good marketing, right?
Yeah.
But that's not how I wanted to do things.
Yeah.
So she didn't give me as many leads as she should
way.
have because I wasn't like towing the company line. And I didn't like that. Like I didn't really
And she probably thought that you weren't doing the right thing from her perspective.
Yeah. She wasn't aware that like lifting weights and like doing a bit of
Actually-
like high intensity cardio was like actually what you should do.
Yeah.
And the way I marketed myself at the time was like S&C for regular people. Like that's what I actually would
see.
say to my clients. Like, hey, we're going to train like an athlete, but like just, a few steps progressed, right?
Did people buy into that?
Yeah, like my clients loved it. I had great retention rate. I had good clients,
Yeah,
but
man.
it wasn't what I wanted to do.
Okay.
What I wanted to do was work with like people who did bodybuilding, people who did powerlifting, like people who had
So we're into it.
objective physique or strength goals. Like
Yep.
that's what I really wanted.
Yep.
But those clients weren't coming to me for PT because they didn't have money. Because they were usually like kids in year 11 or 12
Yep.
or like first or second year uni
Yep.
or like, people who don't want to spend $100 for a personal training session,
Yep.
which is totally fine. So this is kind of like how I fell into online coaching. And I
Right.
didn't call it online coaching.
Right.
I didn't really know it was online coaching.
Right.
But it was my way of like, how can I get this market that I want to actually pay me to help them? Because I just wanted to help people.
Yeah.
And I obviously wanted to make money.
Yep.
So my first like online coaching was like I would write someone a program and I would check in with them each week with how it was going. It was very
Like
informal.
a phone call or like messages?
Messages.
Okay.
Very informal.
Yep.
Like there wasn't like a check-in day. There wasn't like a, hey, send me this. It was just
Yep.
like, hey, just check in with me with your training. And I
Yep.
would like
Just
and
message me.
And I had such a small amount of clients that I would reach out and be like, hey, how'd you go today?
Yeah, right.
And that was sort of my
How would they send you videos? On Messenger?
Yeah, all
like
on
Facebook
Messenger.
Messenger?
Yeah.
Was that
And
a thing back
I
then?
still
when you
do
were-
that.
Back when you were
Yeah.
when you were a dinosaur?
Yeah.
Dinosaurs had that?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Fuck you. Yeah, so that was kind of like my way of starting online coaching without actually knowing that it was online coaching.
Right.
And that was in 2013.
Yep.
So like, yeah, I've been online coaching for 11 years.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's mad. That's really, really cool. So then how did that progress to, obviously now you're a full-time online coach. Did you not give up, but did you sort of like move away from face-to-face quite quickly after that? And then,
No, not at all. Like I still do face-to-face.
that's true, yeah.
I still do. And I love doing face-to-face because like I like social interactions.
Yep.
I think that if I stayed at home all day, every day,
Kind of sucks.
I'd be so bored.
Yeah. Before I started here, like I'll just be at my desk all day and I'm like, this is what it feels like to work from home. This is fucking shit.
Such doom and gloom, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you want to be in the gym with people. You
Yeah,
want to
absolutely.
like you want to.
It's made a big difference.
It makes such a difference to people as well if you can see them face to face. So yeah, so I still do face to face.
How long did you stay at Fitness First for then?
Yeah, so that's the next bit.
Sorry.
No, that's totally fine. So yeah, 2013 I started my business. 2013 started doing sort of informal online coaching, and then I actually went back to uni
Oh, right.
to do exercise science.
Yep.
And again, I only lasted 3 semesters, and I was like, nah, studying is not for me.
Yeah. So was it the content that wasn't right, or was it just the aspect of like
Bro,
studying?
just the learning, man. Just
exams,
honestly, just the
being fed
being
like you have
forced,
to
yeah.
you have to learn this.
Yeah.
You have to learn this.
yeah, being forced to learn something that you're like not super stoked about.
Yeah.
Especially when having an exercise science degree wasn't helping me be, or wasn't
better.
progressing me as a powerlifting coach as like almost a necessity. It was like kind of an extra. It was
Yeah.
like, hey, I've got an exercise science degree.
Yeah.
When like no one really cares.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went back to uni, and around the similar time I went back to uni, I got a job offer at a powerlifting gym or at a gym that had a powerlifting club called Lift Performance Center.
Was this the one with the caged in combo rack and the Lico plates? Is that the one you're talking about?
No,
before?
that was
different.
That was way long. That was way longer ago. That was PCYC in North
Before
Sydney.
dinosaurs existed.
Yes. So it was September 2016.
Yep.
I started at the powerlifting gym, and and John was actually the coach there before
Lift Performance,
me.
right?
Yeah. So it's called Lift Performance Center. It was in Redfern. John was the powerlifting coach when they opened their doors in 2014.
Right.
I did my second competition there.
Right.
And then I actually joined the gym and started training there.
Right. After you competed.
Yeah. So I'd done 2 comps. My second comp was at that gym.
Yep.
I was like, this is a cool gym. I'm going to come and train here. I started training there, got immersed in the community. John was the powerlifting coach there, and he had like a night squad where 4 nights a week he'd have people come in, they'd train as a group.
Mad.
And
So like coaching hours kind of thing.
yeah, sort of, but you had to like kind of join the club, and it was like a completely exclusive group session.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then John left there to open City Strength, and there was a job opening for the powerlifting coach. So the guy who owned the gym called me, do you want to work here? I was like, yes, like this is like the perfect thing for me to sort of step towards powerlifting. At that point, I probably had like 10 clients who'd competed in powerlifting.
Yeah,
And then the
nice.
rest of my clients were still Gen Pop.
Yeah.
And that was like what really sort of made my career in powerlifting take off, was being associated with like a big gym
Yep.
that ran comps. Like I was a meet director. I kind of started at that point to get involved in refereeing and in running comps, and in, I just was coaching a lot.
Yep.
And I was at every comp in Sydney. And that was the thing that really like elevated me.
Yeah, because people saw your face, people started to notice who you were.
And at that point in time, I was doing like 6 a.m. till 11 at Fitness First. And then I'd go straight to uni, and then I'd go to lift, I'd train, and then I'd have my squad.
Oh, so you did both
And I'd finish
at
at
the
9.
same time?
I was doing all 3 at the same time.
Oh, shit.
And I'd be like 6 a.m. till 9 p.m.
Yeah.
4 days a week. And I was like, something's got to give here. Uni was the first one to go. And pretty soon after that, it was Fitness First.
Yeah.
Because I started to, obviously with joining as the powerlifting coach, I had like a set number of hours each week for the evening sessions. And then I was also allowed to start doing one-on-ones there.
Yeah, right.
So I started picking up more one-on-ones there. And then I started doing way more time at Lift than I was doing at Fitness First.
Did you find...
And I wasn't paying rent at Lift. And I just had this huge bill over at Fitness First.
Yeah.
I didn't really enjoy being there anymore because I preferred to be at the other place.
Yeah. Did you feel like going to Fitness First was very grueling? Like you had to like get yourself up to get there and stuff like that?
No, like I loved all my clients.
Yeah.
And like I was really happy to go to work because I would just be with my clients. And then as soon as I was done, I'd leave.
Fucking out of here.
Yeah. So like I never trained there anymore. I
Yeah,
wasn't
okay.
spending extra time like hanging around or trying to build my business.
Yep.
Like when you start out, they tell you like you got to be here all
Be
the
here
time,
all
be on the
day.
floor,
Yep.
clean up the weights, say hello to everyone, remember everyone's name, all that stuff. I wasn't doing any of that anymore because I was kind of already checked out. I was
Yep.
only there for my clients. And then once I left that, I took a couple of my clients with me. Most of them it was a little bit too far. I was at Willoughby Fitness First, and then Lift was in Redfern, so it was a bit far for a lot of them. And then it was pretty much since probably mid 2017, it's been all powerlifting.
Right.
Yeah.
That's mad. And so with Lift, how long were you there for? And then after that was City Strength, right?
Yeah, so Lift closed in February of 2022.
Yep. So 2 years ago.
Sorry, 2020.
Okay, 4 years ago.
Sorry. February of 2020.
Yep.
Almost 5 years ago.
Yep.
They basically went broke and just closed the doors. And they gave us no warning, no notice, no nothing.
Oh, shit.
It was like we got a message sent to a staff WhatsApp
Yep.
on a Tuesday night, sorry. Hey guys, the gym is closed effective immediately. No sessions will be run tomorrow. We'll have a meeting tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. so I can explain everything to you. This is from the owner.
Yep.
This message is from the owner. And we're like, what the fuck is going on
Yeah.
here? And they essentially just went broke. I won't go into like the details. It's a pretty juicy story that I can tell you after. And literally that Wednesday, I called John.
Yeah.
Because like John and I had built a relationship. I trained there when he was the coach there. Then I would bring lifters to his comp, and he would bring lifters to the comps that I ran. And, we were like starting to become friends and stuff. And I called John and Greta, and I was like, hey, you've probably heard the news about Lyft. Like, can I bring my business over there?
Yep.
And he was like, yeah, you can start tomorrow. And I literally started the next day. So,
So you went straight from Lyft to
Yeah.
City Strength in Marrickville.
yeah. And then about 6 weeks later, COVID.
Bang.
Yeah.
Done.
So we went from Lyft, like all these guaranteed hours, like booming business, no guaranteed hours at City Strength because
Yeah.
it was like, you know, people were paying for like the club thing through the gym.
Yep.
And I like would have had to like set that up from scratch.
Yep.
The new gym only had 6 weeks of time, then bang, COVID. And then during COVID, I, you know, had people like Chris and Luke and Mags and a few others come and train in the garage with me
Yep.
illegally.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, for the whole time. And then again in the second COVID 2021 to keep my business going and keep them training. And yeah, COVID sucked, but we made the most of it, I guess.
How was it through COVID as a coach? Like for me, I was still at any time at that time doing Gen Pop stuff.
Yeah.
And then when COVID hit, I took them to a park and I trained them out at a park.
Yeah.
And just did whatever. That was the fucking like 5 kilometer, 10 kilometer radius rule and shit like that. And my gym was just past the 10 kilometer radius from my place that I was working at. So I had to find like a central location that matched me and my clients. And it was just like a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where they were just like, let's just wait until gym's open.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. How was it for you? Especially like lift closing and...
It was at first like a bit like, how long is this going to be? So it wasn't that bad at first because we were told like
it'll be 2
we
weeks.
were told it was going to be 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and then we were told like, oh, now
Just
it's
one
going to
more
be
week. Just one
now
more
it's
week.
going to be a few more weeks, and then it was kind of like, okay, maybe we actually have to figure something out here because this might be a while.
Yep.
So the first lockdown, I was living in an apartment building, and we had a pretty good sized garage.
Yep.
So I was able to borrow equipment from Paragon
Okay.
through my wife who was working for Paragon.
Right.
So we rented a rack and like some floor matting and a deadlift platform and a whole bunch of plates,
Yep.
a couple dumbbells, and like a box for like hip thrusts. And like we actually had a pretty decent setup.
And this was in the garage in your apartment
This
block.
was in the bottom
In
of
the
our
car
apartment
park?
in the car park.
So there were other like spots and
There were
other cars and
there
shit
were other
there.
cars. So we were on the top floor of the apartment building,
Yep.
and we shared with one other guy. His name is Dane. He's the man. He allowed us to use his parking spot as well
Oh,
because
sick.
they were next to each other.
Yeah.
So we ended up having this like quite decent sized
That's mad.
area on the corner. You could probably have fit like 4 combo racks in the size.
Yeah, right.
So we had like a decent amount of room. We bought a couple lights from Bunnings because like the lights are on sensors. So if you sat down for like 30 seconds, it
Turn
would
off.
just go dark. So we bought some lighting, and yeah, Dane allowed us to use his car park if I would give him like one personal training session a week.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, so like he came and trained with me. He trained me twice a week and paid me for one, and one would be free.
Yeah.
And I had another guy in the building who would came down and do sessions with me as well.
Oh, that's mad.
And then I had like a bit of a schedule with some of my clients who didn't have access to a gym. We would just let them come and train. We just had to put them in a booking sheet.
Yep.
And then I had all the sessions like with Luke and Chris and stuff where they would come and train together. And yeah, we kind of made the most of a pretty shitty situation,
Yeah.
even though it was definitely illegal. It was, I mean, it doesn't really matter now. It doesn't really matter now. Yeah, that was the first COVID. The second COVID, we had moved into our house.
Yep.
It's a bit more stressful because we had a mortgage.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck, not this again. We obviously have our gym in the garage now.
Yep.
And we weren't going to have a gym in the house, in the garage. But again, we borrowed stuff from Paragon and we were like, this is actually a pretty cool spot to train. And then as that second lockdown sort of went on, we accumulated equipment.
Yep.
Like we were like, okay, let's buy a rack, let's buy some dumbbells, let's
see.
buy some stuff.
Yep.
And then when we gave all the stuff back to Paragon, we set up our gym, and then now, yeah, it's still,
Now it is what it
still all
is.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, COVID sucked, but it was not the worst, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Last sort of segment of this podcast, I'm going to talk about just some beliefs that have stuck with you from the start, whether it's like training philosophy, whether it's business, whether it's about clients, whether it's yourself. Are there any things that you feel has stuck with you, or has like someone's told you something and they're like, you've remembered that from when, when that happened?
I want you to start, and I want you to give me an example.
Me?
Yes.
You want me to start?
I want you to give me an example so I can think.
I think one thing that stuck me from the very start of when I started personal training was, and I think like a lot of people could resonate, a lot of coaches could resonate, is I started this to help people. You know, I'd never started this to make money. Like I could have easily, I went to uni, I have a degree in commerce, major in management and international business. And I could have easily gotten a corporate job and just like sat comfortably in an office and like earned 6 figures really easily. But I didn't. And the reason why is because I actually wanted to make an impact on people and help people and make a positive impact on people's lives. And I feel like somewhere along the way in the past, maybe like 6 to 12 months, I sort of lost sight of that because I was very, I guess, like caught up in the money side of things, of making money as a coach, until it got to a point where I was like very stressed out about my financial situation. And I was like, actually, like, why am I fucking stressing about this when I'm honestly, genuinely enjoying what I'm doing as a coach? So that's something that stuck with me for a while, and I have to constantly remind myself, like, I'm doing something that I love and something that I really, really care about and I'm passionate about. Like, I couldn't ask for anything else, really. Like, I'm enjoying my life, I'm enjoying my work, so I really can't ask for more. So that's something that stuck with me that I think will continue to stick with me for the rest of my life.
I like that. I think something that's sort of I've recognized very early was that people do this for different reasons, and people are at different stages in their journey, and the best way to go about things as a coach is to meet someone where they're at. And how I initially learned this was like maybe my first ever day on the floor as a level 1 PT. So back in the day when I went into PT at Fitness First, you were a level 1 PT, which you had to do a 3-month minimum period where you like kind of prove that you can be a level 2, and then that's when you start your own business.
Oh, right. Okay.
So you have to do like 3 months where they allow you to train people for cheaper. They put you on the floor to like clean the gym. They put you on the floor to run these like small group training classes, like literally the worst thing ever. Like I fucking hated doing these things. Like 6 a.m. in the morning, it's like this small group. You get like 10 people pop up and you got to like show them how to do like a TRX and like
that sucks.
Kettlebell swing and like all this stuff. And it was like one of my first ever classes. I can't remember what the exercise was, but there was someone in the class who was like way too strong for the weights that I had there.
Right.
And there was no extra kettlebells there. So it was like, well, you can do this for the 30-second a lot of time and it's not even going to be hard.
Yeah.
Or we can find something else for you. And then there was another person in the class who couldn't do it with proper technique at all.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, well, how am I going to figure this out? And it was like, okay, this person needs something completely different.
Yeah.
And this person also needs something completely different.
But
so like
opposite ends of the spectrum.
So let's like figure this out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like my philosophy now as a coach is like, what does this person actually need? And I think a lot of people get caught up in this is the best program, or this is the best exercise, or this is the best technique.
Yep.
When they don't actually look at the individual and what the individual needs. Because that is the number one question you need to ask.
Yep.
And it's going to give you the most information back about what you then need to do.
Yep.
And what the best exercise or the best technique or the best program is for that person. And that's something that I've kind of always believed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that completely. Like, it's like you can't give your athlete a program that they're not going to follow. Like, it's just not going to work. They're not going to buy into it. So that's great. Do you have anything else that you wanted to add or mention before we wrap up?
Not really, mate.
I had another question, but I don't know if we've got time.
on.
Have we got time?
Yeah, go on.
The other question was, has there been anything that you truly believe or believed and stuck by that has been disproven, or that has been like, actually, I was wrong about that?
I think something that's helped me a lot in life is having a really good bullshit detector.
Which is like yourself or someone who to tell you that?
No, myself.
Okay.
Like I've got like this internal thing in my brain that I can kind of like sniff out nonsense.
Right. Okay.
Or like I kind of know when there's bullshit.
I see.
And I think that's helped me a lot particularly when I was starting, like deciphering who I should listen to. And a really good example of this is like when I was going down YouTube rabbit holes do you know who Mike Chang is? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like Mike Chang was like the biggest YouTuber back then. And when I started looking on YouTube, he was probably the person that I watched the most. And then I started actually listening to what he was saying. And I was like,
hang on.
I actually don't think that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
And then I started, that's when I kind of went down the Lane Norton, Eric Helms, Lyle McDonald sort of realms, the sort of start of the evidence-based science fitness community.
And would you say like that's because you had a pretty decent foundation from high school and stuff, and also just like natural intuition and
I think it's
logical mind?
more logic and more intuition than anything else.
Yeah.
I wasn't sort of well versed in like biology. I wasn't sort of well versed in nutrition or anything like
that,
biomechanics, anatomy, like not at all. But I kind of picked that up along the way.
Yep.
But yeah, like I said, I've always kind of had that sort of bullshit detector, which has kind of prevented me from buying into stuff that is almost too good
like
to be true.
trends and shit.
Because like stuff that seems too good to be true is 99% of the time too good to be true.
Correct.
And I think I've always been good at like not falling for stuff like that.
Okay.
But one thing that's definitely changed in my approach is like when I first started coaching powerlifting, particularly when I first started at Lift, it was very much like, here's the program, do the program. This program will work.
Right.
Whereas now it's like a lot more collaborative. There's a lot more flexibility in the way that I write programs. And I think that just comes with a better understanding of what actually works and what's actually needed. Because I think back when I was just starting, it was like, here's the only way that I know how to fix something or know how to get someone strong. And if you deviate from it, now I don't know what's worked. And now I'm actually confused.
And I think, as I've developed as a coach as well, what I found is like almost, I wouldn't say almost anything can work, but there are so many different ways things can work.
Bro, honestly, anything can work. No, like seriously, the best evidence of anything can work is like if you look at the way the best lifters in the world train.
Oh, bro, some of them are fucking
you're
like, what the fuck?
And you compare people.
Yeah.
Like who's the guy? Anatoly I think he's in the 105s. He trains so sub-max.
Yeah.
And he just kills it every time.
Yeah.
Like, and then there's people like Agata who compete every second week and train 7 days SPD.
Yeah.
And then there's people like, I don't know, like Evie who train like more traditional, like pretty
progressive,
pretty specific, pretty block oriented. You might consider that to be more normal. But there's people on other ends of the spectrum and they're all at the top. So like, what does that say about whether we need to do something a specific way? It probably says that there's quite a lot of wiggle room or quite a big sort of bandwidth for what's acceptable. In
that aspect, like how important do you think buy-in is?
Oh, it's almost number one.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Like you need proof of concept before you can buy in a lot of the time.
Of course.
So like buy-in doesn't happen initially unless you've had a conversation with your coach and they've been able to convince you that something's a good idea, or you've had a conversation with your coach and you've brought up an idea that you really believe in, or you've seen has worked for someone else or whatever. But usually buy-in comes with like, hey, I did this training and this worked for me, therefore we should try it again. So usually buy-in comes sort of in roundabout ways. But yeah, it's super, super, super important.
Yeah, mad. Anything else that you want to add about things that you stick by or things that have been disproven?
I think actually going back to like my roots of lifting for rugby with old mate Dennis Yates, the greatest S&C coach in history.
Dennis Yates. He's got a goated name too.
Such
Dennis
a good
Yates.
name. He's the man. I remember once I introduced him to my mum, and he's like a very old school Australian guy.
Yep.
And we used to call him Yatesy. And he used to call me Hazy.
Oh, that's
and
cute.
I introduced him to my mum and I said, "Oh, mum, this is Yatesy. Like I've told you so many stories about him." And he said, Alex, when we talk to women, we use our Christian names.
Oh shit.
And it's always stuck with me. It's one of the funniest things. It's one of the funniest things ever. Going back to him, he used to always teach us like the value of training hard. Like we were only in the gym for an hour, 2 to 3 times per week. Like if we didn't have a game on the weekend, we would lift, and we would lift Tuesday and Thursday mornings before school. And we only had an hour because we had to get to school. So it was like,
was the gym at the school?
No. So yeah, my school didn't have a gym until we fucking left. Like literally, like my last month of school.
So the school had an agreement with the gym or something. That was
So he was our coach. He was our rugby, like our first fitness trainer. I think was his title. And he worked at this gym, so he was able to bring us in.
Oh, I
so he had the
see.
key, so he would open it up
Right.
for us, and it would just be us.
Right.
So he would always say, like, we've only got an hour here. So, like, you got to make the most of your hour. You got to, like, train hard for this hour.
Yep.
And it's always stuck with me because he used to he used to walk around the gym supervising 25
Wow.
high school kids.
Yeah.
And he just, try and have an eye on everyone. And if he would see someone sandbagging and not trying, he'd call them out in front of everyone.
Oh shit.
And he'd go, Hazy, too easy, add more weight. And
Wow.
it was like very like, you need to try harder. You need to find the limit. You need to push yourself. And that's kind of like, where this has all come from. That was obviously my first sort of introduction to training.
Yep.
First like proper influence. And it was like, don't waste your time here. If you're going to be here properly, train hard, try, push yourself.
Yeah.
And, going back to having that physical sheet, we would have our own pen and we would write on our sheet.
That's so cool.
I did 65 kilos today. Next week, I did 70. And it was very like progressive.
Yeah.
It was always like, oh, I did this. I'm going to try and beat that. I'm going to try and beat that again. I'm going to try and beat that again. And obviously you're kids. So like, you go from doing rows like fully bent over and then by week 5, you're like standing upright, like doing half the range of motion. But like it was the idea of pushing yourself and trying hard and making the most of that time. So I think that's something that's like always stuck with me from the start.
Yeah, man. That's a great philosophy as well. Like, fuck, man, just train harder.
Yeah.
Just push harder.
Yeah. Like ask yourself, like, did you try as hard as you could have during those sets? If the answer is no, then the next question should be why not?
Yeah. And I think like lately I've been going on about accessories and pushing accessories, but fuck, what I'm realizing now more and more is that people just don't try hard on their top sets, or even their top sets, on their warm-ups. They just fucking sandbag them. And they're like, oh, my top set feels heavy today. I'm like, did you even fucking try? Did you even put energy into like your lift?
Yeah, one of the things I really like to do is to film my last couple of warm-ups.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, when that camera goes on, the effort just goes up because you gotta face the reality of what that set was and you gotta watch it.
Yep.
I think that's actually a really good strategy. Is like if you want to be prepared for your top set, you got to give effort to the sets preceding.
Yes, I agree.
And if you want to get a sort of accurate idea of what your performance is, so you can pick the right load, you should probably be able to see what it looked like.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good way to get around that.
Nice tip, Alex. Good stuff, mate.
No worries,
you should be a
mate.
coach.
Yeah, you reckon?
should consider it,
I think I might go back to commerce.
Commerce. Oh, yeah, you can do that. You should. Maybe you might host this podcast one day because you did pretty well today.
Well, that was
Sure.
episode 1 of Kelvtalk.
Yeah, Kelvtalk.
I'm actually away next week, so you might get another go with
Wow.
hosting next week. Maybe
Just
you can
stay there, man.
Maybe
Just
you
stay in
can
Fiji.
do
It's
the
fine.
same thing with John next week.
I actually might because
That-
he's got a long history.
That might be good. Yeah,
He's prehistoric.
might be 3 hours.
He's pre-dinosaur.
Yeah, if you think I'm old, like fuck. So
John.
it's like 10 years between me and John, and then 10
I did
years
not even
between-
realize he was a M1 lifter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's old. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. That was episode 41 of Alex's podcast. Episode 1 of my podcast. If you guys want to see more of me, please comment, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do on whatever freaking channel you're listening on or watching on. And see you guys next one.
See that? That's a call to action.
Yeah, Alex, it's call to action.
I tell people to review us 5 stars on Spotify all the time. Maybe once.